Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's afternoon here from Ontario, and I know that the time difference, yeah, all across the world could make it be evening in some other places and morning in some other places as well. First of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to all of you. Those of you that will be joining me live today, please, I will admonish that you please let me know where you're watching from, and those that will be watching the replay. Once again, I'd like to say a big thank you to all of you. And my name is Femi. For those of you that don't know me, I'm originally from Nigeria and I live in Ontario, Canada. I'm an engineer and I've worked in the oil and gas industry for several years as a directional driller. I'm a father, I'm a husband, and I'm also a grandfather. So, without further ado, let's get the ball rolling. In the last week, when I did my go live session last week, I spoke about um, why is it possible for our business, or how it is possible for our business to be able to help busy people, entrepreneurs, busy workers, busy parents. I is able to help them create excellent work life balance. And I made mention of several things. Amongst the things I talked about were the two aspects, that enable success within our business. And I talked about the technical aspect and I talked about the human aspect. The technical aspect being that aspect where we have to deal with anything that has to do with technicality, like building up your furnace, getting your database set up, like we talked about, like the automated email that is sent to you by the system, right? So I I inched all of that under the automation system. And I say because those things are able to work for you in the background while you are facing other things that matter, it takes, like it eases things for you and gives you the ability to be able to focus on other things that matter. And this is one of the reasons why it's been found that, with our business model, uh, like your busy schedule, it's been found that our business model does not really interfere with your busy schedule. Excuse me. I'm so sorry about that. I needed to cough. So, uh, our business model does not interfere with your busy schedule just for the reason of that. And then we talked about the human aspect, where we talked about, like the input that you make yourself. Of course, you make some input also into the automation as well, but it's not as much as what you do here because most of that is done for you. And then on the human section, we talked about how that the mentors that you have, the coaches that you have, and then the worldwide support that you have, how those are able to help, you know, help take out the guesswork so that you're not alone running this business. You're not just trying to figure out things just all by yourself. Thus spending time, doing things that ordinarily could have taken you, maybe for instance, something that could have taken you like a few hours to do, taking you several days to do, because there are people that are already in the system that have already experienced these things and they figured out how best to do these things. And these people are here to guide. They take you by the hand literally and guide you to success. But today, I want to speak to that part of you that has been holding back. That part of you that keeps saying, like I will start when like when I have everything figured out. You see, so today we're going to talk about why you don't need to have it all figured out to start your digital business. And by the way, not necessarily just the digital business. Anything that you do in life, whatever business that you want to do in life, anything that you want to endeavor, any endeavor that you want to lay your hands on or to start to do, you don't have to have everything all figured out. Imagine that you didn't have everything figured out by the time you get employed on that job. Some people get employed as trainees and then they learn on the job. Even the experienced people, when they get in, though they have so much that they can add to an organization, they don't just get thrown in, and they start working that way. Because you see, like the different organization, they have different cultures. So it does not matter whether you have spent 20 years doing something in one place and they are coming back here to replicate the same thing here. But like the thing is that this other system, right, they have their own culture. And so most times, right, they first of all have to introduce you gradually into their own, and then you learn their ways of doing things and all of that before like whatever it is that you already think that you have figured out before it begins to show, before you begin to add value to the system. So um, let me tell you, I'll give you my own example, for instance, right? By the time I was joining this business, I wasn't, like it was not as if I had all things figured out. The only thing I had that was going for me was that I knew I desired a change. I just wanted that change so badly that, that was what pushed me. That was what drove me. I didn't have everything figured out, but in the course of my starting my business and doing it, I began to learn all those things that I needed to do. Of course, in between, you make some mistakes, regardless of the fact that you have coaches and mentors, stand by you. You still make some mistakes, and those are part of the learning curve. Those are some of the things that actually determine or define, your personal development. When we say that, like I'm always saying that it's not only the funds, it's not only the money, it's not only the kulele that I get from this business that keeps me going, but the other aspect is the fact that I am able to evaluate myself. I can tell where I was coming from in terms of my person and where I am now, and where I'm going to. I look back and I say, okay, some time ago, some years ago, there were these things I couldn't do. Even though I've spent like about 25, 30 years in the corporate world, there are some things I couldn't do, but I'm able to do now because I've learned along the way. So like this, the things that, personal development, right, where it really matters. Most times we are so used to doing things safe and in conventional way. So like we just want to be safe. We want to do it the way that we think that it has to be done. We have to be perfect to make sure that nothing goes wrong. But there's nothing that's perfect in life. I give a typical example. Sometimes, like some time ago, I couldn't stand before the public like I am right now and doing this go live, and I couldn't even make a video and post. Talk less of having a live video, excuse me, having a live video where I know that I couldn't take back some things that I may have said, or I couldn't take back, the way I look and whatsoever. So like, so that kept me away for a long time from doing those things that were needful. But over time, when I realized how important it was to my business and how that not doing it was impacting my business negatively, I started doing those things. I made myself vulnerable and started doing those things. So, like, if I go back to some of those things I've done in the past and I look at where I am right now, not that I've arrived yet, but at least you see that distinct difference that actually, like I've learned some things. So, like, I didn't have to figure out perfectly how to start making videos or how to start making adverts, before I joined the business or before I started doing them. Because if I had to do that, then I'll end up not doing anything at all. And what I've noticed also is that in the world today, people are even more people are more interested in your being spontaneous rather than trying to figure everything out and have everything perfect, because people want to see your vulnerability for them to be sure that you're actually human and not AI. Well, that's just talking in terms of doing videos, by the way. So yes, so I mean, like, so the key message for us here is that we learn as we go. Like there's no one who is successful in this digital business or any space at all that started everything figured out. The beautiful thing about the business model is that, like we said that we have training, we have mentorship, and we have the community to help you learn step by step. So with this, right, like you don't need to be tech savvy. It also takes out the guesswork from you. Like we talk about this oftentimes, right? So even having prior a business experience does not necessarily matter. You don't need that. So you don't need to be perfect. All you just need to do, and we need from you, is for you to be willing to learn and to take consistent action. Because think about it, not only our business, any business that you do, if that willingness to learn is not there, you can't be successful. You know, and if that willingness to be consistent in your action taking is not there, you can't be successful either. So, I mean, like, what is needed for progress, or the prerequisite, as you may say, for success in a business like ours, is not about perfection. It's about your ability to be consistent, your ability to start, and then, the progress, comes as you go. And then you can actually tell yourself, because you can evaluate to see where you are coming from, and where you are and what you are doing, and then you can be able to measure your milestones and be able to celebrate. you know so so that's it. But what are the things that actually stop people from starting? Like what are the things that, like, um that make people feel, okay, you know what, I'm not ready to do this right now. Like, of course, it's basically the mindset. Because I've spoken to some people that were willing to start this business with me, and some of them were eager to start immediately, even though they don't have everything figured out. They talk to you today, and then the next day they're about to start. And then there's some, like, it will take them like a week, 2, 3, 4, even a month, or 2 months before they come back to you, because they will think and overthink it. They will want to be perfect. They will consider the fact that, can I do this thing that they're doing and all that, before they start. Meanwhile, the person that came up at the same time with them, that just knew that, okay, you know what, I'm not perfect, I'll figure this out as I go, has already started, and maybe is already begin uh, to make waves for himself. So these are some of the things that stop people, from from starting, right? Because they think that they need to understand every detail. You can't possibly understand every detail before you start. Even by the time you start, you can't. Even by the time you start, and you are already doing the business, you can't tell that you already understand, or you already understood every detail, because there's no one that has the luxury of having total knowledge. There's no one. The only person that I know that does have that luxury is God. So there's no one that knows. So there's always something that you need to learn. There's always something that you need to pick up. So, like, thinking that you have to understand every detail before you start will either slow you from starting, or you end up not even starting at all. So so most times they say, okay, you know what, I want to wait for the perfect time. But, like, we know that there's no such thing as perfect time. People want to wait till when they have all the money to start a business. They want to wait to start to have all the money to start a venture. But you discover that there's so many people that start a venture. No, I'm not necessarily talking about my venture here now, but talking generally. There are a lot of people that start ventures without even having the funds to start. But, like, there's something about the mindset of a human. There's something about, wanting to do something so badly, so hungry, so desirous to do something, that whatever it takes to start it, that well without, no, I mean, I will show up. So we don't really have to wait for that. So that's not that, I mean, there's no such thing as perfect time, because it doesn't really exist. So, like, my admonition would just be that, start small, learn as you go, and surround yourself with the people who are doing the same thing. So, because that's where the growth happens, right? When you step out from that comfort zone, when you step out, even when you feel that things are uncertain, when you send a message to yourself, that says, I'm ready for something better. Like, when you're able to look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, you know what, I'm ready to start something better. you know I mean, like, let that drive you. If you have to speak to yourself, you speak to yourself. Just try and put yourself into that mindset of, this thing has to be done, or or like you must start this thing, because already for you to even think about it, it means that you have been nurturing your mind that you need to have a change, you need to have something started, right? And maybe you probably have found something, like maybe you have found this business now, you think that this is a good idea, but then you're just beginning to overthink it, but you can psych yourself up, by speaking to yourself, by um yeah, by speaking to yourself, letting yourself know that, okay, you know what, you can do this, and if other people are doing it, they're succeeding, then why can't you do it? These are all the ways, that you can speak to yourself, and just engulf yourself into things like this, and the ability to start, just starting it. And trust me, once you start, every other thing becomes secondary, because you will get the right, I mean, like, you get the right people to mentor you, to help you. You get the right coaching, and then I don't know, I can't remember if I forgot, or if I mentioned the fact that we have training. I mean, and that's training that you have to go through as well, that enable you, understand everything, the nitty gritty, starting from the scratch, like someone that never done it before, because almost everyone that's in this business never really had any experience whatsoever. They just know that, we just know that, okay, this is a business opportunity that we have seen. We have seen that people are doing it and they're changing their lives. And we feel that, okay, if they can change their lives doing this thing and by putting in effort, there's no other prerequisite other than the fact that you just need, you know, to be available. You like just need to take action. You just need to make up your mind that you have to make it work. So you work on your mindset and all of that. So that is what it's all about. But you know what? Let me ask you a question. What is it that has been holding you back? I mean, like, just think about it and drop it in the comment section. Because for some people, it's the fear of failure. But they don't want to fail, you know. And it depends on what you call failure, because things not working out for you as you expect, it doesn't mean that you have failed. You know, you see, because like that's at the I haven't seen anyone that says that, okay, the way I've planned my life or the way I've planned to do things, that's the way it works for me all the time. And I'm not saying talking about your life generally. I'm talking about even the day-to-day activities that you carry out, even from your home. I mean, there are times here that I say, okay, you know what, I'm going to mow my lawn, and I'm going to do some gardening. I'm going to do one or two things, and then I start my day, and I discover that, okay, for some reason, something I didn't plan for happened, and then I just have to start adjusting my time, and learn to work better with changes in my environment and all that. And that's what life is all about. And that's where the learning is. That's where experience is. So, like fear of failure, I don't really think that should hold anyone down. And also, sometimes also, see people being worried. They're scared about what people may say. They may not tell you. They may not even know that that's the fear that they have. They will tell you, no, I mean, I don't really fear what anybody says. I'm a man of myself. I'm a woman of myself. I mean, like, I'm not moved by what people say. But then you discover that the actions they're supposed to take, when they're supposed to take them, they're not conscious about not wanting other people to see, not wanting other people to know that, okay, you two have, so you mean that you two have been brainwashed into this business, or something like that. You remember when most of us became Christians, right? Like when I gave my heart to Christ, for instance, and there's some people that have been wondering that, so you two, you have been brainwashed and all that. So somehow or the other, people subconsciously are bothered about what people say, what other people say. But you know what? Those other people are not the ones that are going to pay your bills. They're not the ones that will be there when your challenges come and when you have to do the things that you need to do, you know. So sometimes too, like some other things that slow people down is the fact that they feel that, okay, they don't have all the answers yet. But here's the thing, my brothers and sisters, nobody does anything. Nobody does at the beginning. Nobody has all the answers at the beginning. Every mentor that you see today, whether within our business or other businesses, every business owner, even the coaches, the leaders within our business, every success story, started from that exact same place where you are at. Everyone, every successful story, everyone, regardless of wherever they may be, whatever level they may be at right now, they didn't start at that level. They started from that same place where you are, that same place of not having all the answers, that same place of, like not having it all figured out. But over time, as they started and they grew, they learned, they make mistakes, they grew, they learned, and it just kept going. And then you see the graph going just this way. So that's that is what it is all about. There's no reason to want to wait to have it all figured out to start, whether it's been this digital business or been some other things that you want to do. Like once you know that this has to be done, then just go ahead and start doing it. So like today, I just want to encourage you that, you know what, just start from wherever you are with whatever you have. Clarity doesn't come before you start. Clarity comes as you start. So like inside our digital business community, you're not left alone. You receive mentorship, you receive hands-on training and continuous learning that helps you grow at your own pace. So like if this message resonates with you, I want you to drop in the comments. Let me know that it resonates with you by dropping in the comments that I'm ready to learn. Or if you'd like to learn more about our business, then you could see my website there, abifem.com, or just drop the comment section that you want to learn more, and then I'll get across to you and show you all that it takes, for you to learn more about the business before you start it. So this business is changing lives fast. People's lives are being turned around daily, for the best, and including myself as well. And we can only thank God for this opportunity. And likewise, several other businesses there. But the only thing that you'll be doing, not everybody's cut out for business, particularly this digital business. But if you really want to do something and you know that you want to do it, don't let the inability of having all the answers, don't let the fact that you don't have all things figured out yet, don't let that be what will stand in your way. And at this point in time, today, I just want to say a big thank you to every one of you, those of you that are watching live, and the ones that I'll be checking the replay. I want to say a big thank you for checking out. But remember, please, let me know where you are watching from, whether it's live or replay. And I will see you same time next week. Cheers. Have a great week, and God bless you.